Let me welcome you again to the second ministerial, the second briefing after the just concluded Federal Executive Council. This is the second one this year, and a number of decisions were reached that will go a long way in shaping our economy and the processes of governance going forward. I want to thank you for coming all the time to listen to us. This is in line with, like I say always, the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in ensuring that credible information is given out to the Nigerian public. And in turn, government is expecting that members of the media will also report policies and programs of government responsibly, honestly, and truthfully. Like I said, the Federal Executive Council meeting just got concluded. Started first with the swearing in of a commissioner of the National Population Commission from Lagos State. After that, FEC proper got underway. There is a landmark decision that was taken by the Federal Executive Council today. Recall that in 2012, the administration of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan instituted the so-called Oronsaye report. It is aimed at rationalizing the federal government parastatals, agencies, and commission. Now, a paper was turned in 2012, but the implementation got stalled. Again, in 2021, almost 7 years after that, the former President Muhammadu Buhari, also initiated a process to consider the 2014 white paper on the Oronsaye report. Again, the implementation of that also got stalled. Now, instead of the rationalization that Oronsaye report was aimed to achieve, many other agencies and commissions were established. So in a very bold move, today, this administration under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, consistent again with his courage to take very far-reaching decisions in the interest of Nigeria, has taken a decision to implement the so-called Oronsaye report. Now, what that means is that a number of agencies, commissions, and some departments have actually been scrapped. Some have been merged, while others have been subsumed. Others, of course, have also been moved from some ministries to others where government feels they will operate better. Like I said, those scrapped include the Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate. It has been scrapped. The National Senior Secondary School Education Commission is also being looked at with the aim to modify some of its processes, and a final decision on that will be taken. Now, at the end of this exercise, we are going to give you a clean copy of all those agencies that have been scrapped, modified, subsumed, or moved to other ministries. Like I said, this is a very far-reaching decision. It is aimed, one, to fine-tune and to restructure government operations as a whole. Second, in line also with the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reduce the cost of governance. Some of these agencies, you will discover, and as you know, are performing almost very similar functions. So government thought it wise that there is the need, since this committee had already been set up, white paper already been produced, to take a bold decision to visit that. That has been done fully today. I have with me the Special Advisor to the President on Policy Coordination, Hajia Hadiza Bala Usman, who is actually in the forefront of ensuring that this has been achieved today. And Mr. President thanked her and her team for taking us this far. Of course, there are other decisions that have been taken at the Federal Executive Council. Decision bordering on education, works, the digital economy. And my colleagues will take these items one after the other. At the end of it all, we're going to entertain questions and comments from members of the press. But I would want to plead that you please keep your comments, questions, and suggestions to those things that we have discussed today. I would want to first and foremost invite Hajia Hadiza Bala Usman to give us details of those agencies, commissions, and parastatals that have either been merged, subsumed, moved, or scrapped. But like I said, it will not be exhaustive now. We will still have a clean copy that we will distribute to members of the press. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for the overview. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to quickly go over the items that were discussed and consequently approved at the Federal Executive Council. One of the key areas, as the Honourable Minister has mentioned, is the fact that our administration has taken a very bold step towards implementation on aspects of the Oronsaye panel report, which speaks to mergers, subsuming, scrapping, and relocation of parastatals, agencies, and commissions of federal government. This is in line with the need to reduce cost of governance and ensure that we have streamlined efficiency across the governance value chain. We'll go through quickly the list of agencies that have been so earmarked to be scrapped and their functions moved to ministries and agencies, and those merged and those to be subsumed. For agencies that are required to be merged, I'll take it. National Agency for Control of AIDS, HIV/AIDS, NACA, to be merged with the Center for Disease Control in the Federal Ministry of Health. National Emergency Management Agency to be merged with the National Commission for Refugee Migration and Internally Displaced Persons. The Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa to be merged with the Directorate of Technical Aid and to function as a department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission to be merged with Bureau for Public Enterprises. Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission to be merged with Nigerian Export Promotion Council. National Agency for Science and Technology and Science and Engineering Infrastructure to be merged with National Center for Agriculture Mechanization and the Project Development Institute. The National Biotechnology Development Agency to be merged with the National Center for Genetic Resource and Biotechnology. The National Institute for Leather Science Technology to be merged with the National Institute for Chemical Technology. The Nomadic Education Commission to be merged with the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult Education and Non-Formal Education. The Federal Radio Corporation to be merged with the Voice of Nigeria. The National Commission for Museum and Monuments to be merged with the National Gallery of Arts. The the National Theatre to be merged with National Troupe of Nigeria, the National Meteorological Development Center to be merged with the National Meteorological Training Institute, the Nigerian Army University, BU, to be merged with the Nigerian Defense Academy to function as a faculty within the Nigerian Defense Academy. Air Force Institute of Technology, also to be merged with the Nigerian Defense Academy to function as a faculty of Nigerian Defense Academy. We now move to the agencies to be subsumed. The Service Compact with Nigeria Servicom to be subsumed to function as a department under the Bureau for Public Service Reform. The Border Communities Development Agency to be subsumed to function as a department under the National Boundary Commission. The National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission to be subsumed into the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission. The Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution to be subsumed under the Institute for International Affairs. The Public Complaints Commission to be subsumed under the National Human Rights Commission. The Nigerian Institute for Trypanosomiasis to be subsumed into the Institute for Veterinary Research. The National Medicine Development Agency to be subsumed under the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. The National Intelligence Agency Pension Commission to be subsumed under the Nigerian Pension Commission. For agencies to be relocated, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company to be relocated to the Ministry of Power. The National Agricultural Land Development Agency to be relocated to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. The National Blood Service Commission to be converted into an agency and relocated to the Federal Ministry of Health. The Nigerian Diaspora Commission to be converted into an agency and to be relocated to the Federal Ministry of Finance. In addition, Mr. President constituted a committee that would work within a 12-week period to ensure that the necessary restructuring and legislative amendments that are needed to ensure the full actualization of these approvals was granted. He tasked this committee with an immediate terms of reference to proceed and ensure all of these are done within a period of 12 weeks. The committee membership comprises of the following. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation will chair the committee. The Head of Civil Service of the Federation, member. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, member. The Honorable Minister of Budget and National Planning, member. The Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reform, member. The Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination as a member. The two Senior Special Assistants to the President on National Assembly are members, and the Cabinet Affairs Office will serve as Secretariat. The committee would look at the administrative restructuring and also the legislative amendments required to ensure the full implementation of the recommendations. The other aspects of recommendations that have also been passed to the committee to relook at. It's important for us to appreciate the bold approval granted by Mr. President at the Federal Executive Council. This has been a recommendation that has been, I think, in the Nigerian discourse from 2012. We're here in 2024 and it's so been approved, and the aspects that are applicable to mergers, as I said, subsuming and scrapping and relocation of agencies are those that have been so considered arising from the totality of the panel report. So I thank you all for listening, and I look forward to any questions for clarification. But the Minister said, so it's not this committee, they're members. They're members on the Committee on Social Investment. Yes, all right, thank you.
Okay, please, gentlemen, let's get this right. Like we said, we will give you further details as what this entails, but it is important to note that the fact that the Oronsaye report has been approved and adopted by Council today does not mean that people will lose their jobs. All those who are employed, whether they have been moved, subsumed, or scrapped, will find accommodation within relevant government agencies. Nobody is going to lose his job as a result of that. It is important that we make that very clear. Again, apart from the Oronsaye report, there is also a decision taken by Council today. Recall that about 6 weeks back, early in January, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu set up an interministerial panel headed by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy to review the affairs of the National Social Investment Program. Today, the committee has finished its job. About 6 ministers are involved. Like I said, the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy is the chairman. It had the Minister of Health, Minister of Budget and National Planning, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, and the Honorable Minister of State for Youth. They were all members of that committee. All of them served in that committee, and the report has been submitted. An interim report, actually, a final one is going to go to Mr. President. It has been submitted today, considered by Council, and submitted to the President. I will now call on the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy to discuss some of those aspects that were discussed today that are of relevance to Nigerians to know.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. The Federal Executive Council today was asked to note that the special presidential panel on the review of the National Social Investment Program, a panel comprising the names that we have just heard from the Minister for Information and Orientation, has on time, 6 weeks ago, it was asked to produce a report. It has, within 6 weeks, it has done so and submitted it to Mr. President, has given the highlights to the Federal Executive Council. And what has happened is that there has been a review of the existing mechanisms, a review of the existing programs, and where there have been successes, such as in the 400,000 beneficiaries of the JEEP program, and so on and so forth. Those have been identified and recognized. School feeding program is another example of relative success. And whilst there is still some further work to be done, particularly as regards availability of the financial data, which is still being looked at, the interim report has been submitted, and a key recommendation of the panel was that, especially given the heightened limited household purchasing power at this time of rising prices, particularly elevated food prices, it's important to restart the program. So the direct payments to households, direct payments to 12 million households comprising 60 million Nigerians, is to resume immediately, with the proviso, with the important proviso that every beneficiary will be identified by their NIN, National Identity Number, and their BVN, Bank Verification Number. And so therefore, payments will be made into bank accounts or mobile money wallets, so that whether it is before or after, there is verification of the identity of beneficiaries. Each person that receives 25,000 naira for a total of 3 months will be identifiable. Even after they have received the money, it will be clear who it went to and when it went to them. And that is the big change that has allowed Mr. President to approve the restart of that direct payments to beneficiaries program. In addition, particularly given that whilst the macroeconomic reforms, the important reforms, not just one or two measures, but the whole package of reforms is relatively on track, at this period of heightened food prices, Mr. President has committed to doing all that can be done to assist in giving purchasing power to the less well-off, to the poorest. And in that line, he has committed and instructed that the social security unemployment program be devised, particularly to cater for the youth, for the unemployed graduates, as well as the society as a whole. So we have coming in the nearest future an unemployment benefit for the young unemployed in particular. Finally, all in the same line, to emphasize that there is empathy and there is feeling for those who are less well off, who are feeling particularly the pains of this adjustment. There is coming a social consumer credit program. So by making consumer credit available, of course, goods become more affordable. The economy even gets a chance to revive faster because people have purchasing power that allows them to order goods and products. Thank you.
I will bring in the Honorable Minister of Economy. Some of the things that the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister for the Economy has enumerated will have some foundation in the digital arrangement that the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy is doing. For example, the triangulation that he has provided that will help in identifying and working with those who will benefit in these two very major critical sectors that government is talking about, the social safety net and the consumer credit. He will provide some information as to how that works. So I will ask him to come in here so that he can link that up all for you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think just to follow up on the point that has been made around the use of technology, in particular also the data that we have collected on our people to strengthen our social investment program. One of the initial moves that we're making is leveraging the existing data set that we have on our people. As you know, the BVN, which is a system that is well managed by NIBS, is something that is extremely credible, is well known to be extremely credible. NIN, on the other side, which is now the most popular digital identity system for Nigerians, is also to a large extent credible, and it covers quite a significant number of our people as well. And what we're looking to do here is the triangulation of this data set to ensure that not only are we using the register that is properly been populated, but that we also do proper verification of every individual that will benefit from that investment, that social investment program, which means we will give commitment to ensuring that no one is paid twice, because you have to be properly ID'd before you can benefit from that program. The other thing I would like to chip in here also is the unemployment benefit that the President is mandated that we look into. And one of the areas where this touches on the digital economy, It's a program that we've launched to train 3 million technical talents. And as you know, we've started this program by deploying the 1% of it, which is 30,000 young Nigerians that are learning technical skills, particularly with the hope of helping to deepen our technology workforce locally, but also giving us the opportunity to leverage the gap that exists in technology workforce globally. On Thursday, we're going to be scaling that program to 10%, which would mean we're going to announce a new set of people, up to 270,000 people that will benefit from this program. And that program, because of the success of the initial 1%, will be one of the programs that we use to also pilot the unemployment benefit, which means all the unemployed young Nigerians that are part of that program will get the chance, once this benefit is designed and deployed, to benefit from monthly payments while they are learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister of Education also had a note to Council. The Council approved a particular note for him, especially as it relates to members of ASU that have been taken out of the IPPS. I will ask him to come on and talk further on that.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, what the Council did today was to clear the final obstacle to implementation of the decision of the Council on IPPS, which was taken in December, if you may recall. And but the Council thought it's important for the universities to be reminded of their obligations under the various laws, the various acts setting up the universities, and then some financial regulations post-IPPS. And these all pertain to ensuring that university, tertiary institutions employ staff only when there is a budgetary provision for it. And there's also a ratio between academic and non-academic staff, which must not be breached, is 1 to 5, as prescribed by the Universities Commission. And there's a limit to the number of part-time staff who can be recruited, which is restricting it to senior lecturers and above for a particular period, not exceeding 1 year. And then there's a consequence to breach. Unlike before, when institutions were just on their own and there were no consequences visited on them. This time around, councils will help to account and their managements for any breach of these regulations, which will be communicated to them. Remember, the effective date for this is middle of December last year, and so henceforth, these regulations will be conveyed to them, so that they can now be free to manage the universities in line with the universities, polytechnics, and college education, in line with the laws setting them up. So these regulations will be conveyed to them. Then Council also made some observations about research outputs from research institutions around the country, and expressed some concern about some of these research institutes not living up to their billing in producing relevant and valid proper researches that meets the requirements of this country, or that takes this country to the next level of its development, which is actually a very major role in developing countries. Countries make progress through innovations by its tertiary institutions. So the Council wants to see our tertiary institutions playing that role, while ensuring that there is sufficient funding for those activities. Thank you very much.